Our morning started in Moab, Utah, and in the previous video we visited Dead Horse Point State Park. So far on this trip, we've visited 4 of Utah's 5 national parks, with one major exception, Canyonlands National Park. Well, today we're going to fix that. So come along and find us here in Canyonlands National Park as we explore one of the most spectacular and rugged landscapes in the American Southwest. We have left Dead Horse Point State Park and are now making the short drive over to Canyonlands National Park and the Island in the Sky Visitor Center. Our visit today will focus on the Island in the Sky District, which is one of 4 districts that make up the massive Canyonlands National Park, and by far the most visited area in the park. Perched atop a high mesa more than 1,000 feet above the surrounding terrain, Island in the Sky offers some of the most spectacular overlooks in the Southwest, with sweeping views of the canyons carved by the Colorado and Green Rivers far below. Today we'll be exploring some of the scenic viewpoints and getting our first look at Utah's largest national park. After officially entering the park, our first stop is the Island in the Sky Visitor Center. Staffed by park rangers, the Visitor Center is a great place to begin your visit with information about the park, exhibits explaining the geology and history of the area, and a large raised relief map that helps put the immense scale of Canyonlands into perspective. There's also a gift shop where visitors can pick up souvenirs, maps, and other park-related items. Outside, you'll find the official Canyonlands National Park sign, which of course makes for a perfect photo opportunity. So before continuing on into the park, we'll stop for another selfie with the sign in the background. With our visit to the Visitor Center complete, let's head farther into the park to our first overlook, Shafer Canyon Overlook. Located just a short drive from the Visitor Center, this viewpoint provides an impressive introduction to the dramatic landscape of Canyonlands. From here, you can look out across Shafer Canyon, one of the many deep side canyons carved into the vast plateau over millions of years. The overlook is also one of the best places to see the famous Shafer Trail far below. Originally used by ranchers and miners, this rugged dirt road descends through a series of tight switchbacks from the top of Island in the Sky to the white rim far beneath the mesa. Today, it remains a popular route for high clearance and 4-wheel drive vehicles. Let's stop here and take in the view. Before leaving this area, let's drive just a little farther up the road to another pullout for one more look at the canyon from a different vantage point. One of the nice things about Canyonlands is that the views can change dramatically with just a short drive. From this overlook, we'll get a different perspective on the canyon landscape, with new angles revealing additional layers of rock, side canyons, and the vast scale of the terrain stretching out before us. We'll also get a great view of Shafer's Trail. This is yet another reminder that no single viewpoint can fully capture just how immense Canyonlands National Park really is. After leaving the Shafer Canyon area, we're headed all the way to the end of the road and one of the most famous viewpoints in the park, Grand View Point. The scenic road through Island in the Sky winds across the high desert plateau, offering occasional glimpses of the canyon country that surrounds us. Along the way, we pass the turnoff road that leads to both Green River Overlook and Upheaval Dome, a road we'll explore on our way back after visiting Grandview Point. From this junction, it's about 6 miles to the end of the road. As the name suggests, Grandview Point is known for providing some of the most expansive views anywhere in the national park, making it a fitting destination for our drive through the Island in the Sky district. Although the time of year we were visiting is generally considered part of the slower season at Canyonlands, Grandview Point was surprisingly busy when we arrived. Finding a parking space proved to be a bit of a challenge, made even more difficult by ongoing construction in the area. It appeared the park was in the process of expanding the parking facilities, which gives you an idea of just how popular this overlook can be. After a few minutes of searching, we finally found a place to park and headed out to explore the overlooks. With views that many consider among the best in the entire park, we were eager to see whether Grandview Point lived up to its name. Grandview Point sits at the southern end of the Island in the Sky Mesa and offers one of the most expansive panoramas of Canyonlands National Park. From the overlook, you can see mile after mile of rugged canyon country stretching toward the horizon in nearly every direction. Far below, the Colorado River has spent millions of years carving through the layers of sandstone, creating a maze of canyons, mesas, buttes, and towering cliffs. Many of the broad, flat-topped formations visible from here are isolated remnants of a much larger plateau that has slowly been worn away by erosion. On a clear day, the views seem almost endless. Layers of red and tan rock stack one behind another, while deep canyons cut across the landscape below. The sheer scale of the scene can be difficult to appreciate in photographs, which is one reason Grand View Point has become one of the signature viewpoints of Canyonlands National Park. As we walk along the overlook, take a moment to look beyond any single feature and simply appreciate the vastness of the landscape. This is canyon country on a truly grand scale, and it's easy to see how Grand View Point earned its name. After taking in the incredible views from Grand View Point, we headed back to the car and began making our way toward the park entrance. But our sightseeing in Canyonlands wasn't over yet. Along the way, we're making a stop at Green River Overlook, one of the park's most impressive viewpoints. While Grand View Point focuses on the canyon system carved by the Colorado River, this overlook provides sweeping views of the canyons created by the Green River, the other major river that helped shape the landscape of Canyonlands. To the Green River Valley Overlook.
I'm excited.
The Green River Overlook is accessed from the parking lot by a short, accessible trail that leads directly to the viewpoint. From the edge of the mesa, the Green River can be seen winding through the canyon far below, surrounded by towering cliffs, broad benches, and countless side canyons. It's a very different perspective from Grandview Point, but one that further highlights the immense scale and rugged beauty of this remarkable national park. Let's stop here and take a look. Let's head back to the car for one final stop in Canyonlands National Park, Upheaval Dome. Upheaval Dome is one of the park's most unusual and mysterious geologic features. Unlike the canyons, mesas, and cliffs that were formed primarily by erosion, Upheaval Dome is a large circular structure that has puzzled geologists for decades. For many years, scientists debated whether it was created by a salt dome pushing upward from deep underground or by the impact of a meteorite. Today, most evidence points toward a meteorite impact millions of years ago. The collision would have been powerful enough to deform the rock layers and create the unusual circular formation visible today. However, some questions about its formation still remain, making it one of the most studied geologic features in the park. The parking area leads to a short trail that climbs to overlooks where visitors can peer into the center of the formation and see the warped and uplifted rock layers for themselves. It's a fascinating stop in a very different kind of landscape from the river-carved canyons we've been exploring throughout the day. Let's go take a look. The drive to Upheaval Dome is only a few miles from the main park road, but it's a very scenic drive with plenty of views across the surrounding canyon country along the way. When we arrived, however, we found the area to be quite busy. The parking lot was full, and available parking was extremely limited. After driving through the parking loop and taking a look at the situation, we decided not to make the walk up the trail to the overlook. Since the one-way loop naturally brought us back toward the exit, we continued on and headed back toward the main park road. While we didn't get a chance to see Upheaval Dome from the overlook itself, it's clear that this is one of the more popular stops in the Island in the Sky district. Let's enjoy some of the scenery as we make our way back toward the visitor center. Unlike our drive into the park earlier, we're now traveling generally north, which means the sun is at our backs and there's much less glare on the windshield. As we cross the broad mesa that forms the Island in the Sky district, the landscape around us is a mix of open high desert, scattered pinon and juniper trees, and occasional glimpses of canyon country that lies just beyond the rim. It's a beautiful drive and a chance to take in the scenery one last time before leaving the park. Much of our drive back toward Moab follows Utah State Route 313, the same road that brought us first to Dead Horse Point State Park and then to Canyonlands National Park earlier today. While it's often thought of as simply an access road to the parks, Utah 313 is a scenic drive in its own right. Crossing the high desert plateau northwest of Moab, the route passes through a rugged landscape of sagebrush, juniper, sandstone formations, and expansive desert vistas that seem to stretch endlessly toward the horizon. As we get closer to US 191, the road begins a dramatic descent off the plateau and down through a series of colorful rock layers and canyons. The change in elevation provides an entirely different perspective on the landscape, with towering canyon walls rising along the roadway as we make our way back toward the valley floor near Moab. Let's take one more look at some of the highlights of this beautiful drive as we head back toward town. Upon arriving back at the intersection with US 191, we make a right turn and begin heading south toward Moab. Our route takes us once again through the colorful rock canyons near the entrance to Arches National Park and across the Colorado River as we make our way back into town. It's been a busy day. We started this morning in Moab, visited Dead Horse Point State Park, explored Canyonlands National Park, and spent much of the day taking in some of the most spectacular scenery anywhere in Utah. By this point in the afternoon, we're ready to get back to town. More importantly, we're hungry, so once we arrive in Moab, we'll head down into the main part of town to find a place for dinner and wrap up another great day of our Utah road trip. So, we're not done yet. Join us as we head back into Moab for one final stop before calling it a day. We soon arrived back at the Hampton Inn where we were staying in Moab, parked the car, and took a short break in our room after a long day of sightseeing. But before long, hunger got the better of us and we decided to walk the few blocks into downtown Moab for dinner. While exploring town the previous evening, we had noticed a restaurant called The Spoke located right next to Sweet Serendipity, where we had stopped for ice cream after dinner at Arch's Thai. The restaurant had caught our attention the night before, so tonight seemed like the perfect opportunity to give it a try. With the sun beginning to get lower in the sky and another full day of adventure behind us, we headed into town for dinner at The Spoke. The Spoke is located inside the historic Cooper Martin building in downtown Moab and offers both indoor and outdoor seating. After arriving, we decided to sit outside and were handed menus to look over. One side of the menu featured appetizers, soups, salads, and build-your-own hamburger options, while the other side included specialty burgers, sandwiches, and several featured entrees. There was certainly no shortage of choices. After looking over the menu, we placed our orders and took a few minutes to enjoy the atmosphere and people watch from our outdoor table. Before long, our appetizer arrived, a spinach artichoke dip served with warm pita bread. It made for a good starter while we waited for our main course. Not long afterward, our burgers arrived. We both decided on the Texan, an Angus beef burger topped with pepper jack cheese, macaroni poppers, onion straws, and the Spoke's signature barbecue sauce. After dinner, we took a quick look around the inside of the Spoke before heading back outside to get a few shots of the building and the restaurant's exterior. With another good meal behind us, we began the walk back toward the hotel through downtown Moab. Along the way, we came across a place called the Chocolate Factory. In addition to chocolate, it also offered gelato, ice cream, and espresso drinks. Tomorrow we'll leave Moab behind and head east into Colorado, where we'll spend the day exploring the spectacular San Juan Mountains before continuing on to Farmington, New Mexico for the evening. Join us next time as our road trip continues into the mountains of southwestern Colorado. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of this kind of content, like the video, share it with friends, and leave us a comment to let us know what you think. We invite you to join us on our website at findushere.com, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon. Meanwhile, check out this video next for more travel fun, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our new content. Your subscription is always free, helps us grow the channel, and is always greatly appreciated.